Right, let's go. Should be good to go here with some League of Empires casting. Whoa! Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, Winchobaba. That would be the sub alert I recorded on my instrument, the horn. Much appreciate the support. That's actually indirectly going to benefit the prize pool of my ongoing tournament open season as well, because I promised all little portion of all subs and donations to go into that prize pool. But this is League of Empires, and there I'm only a participant, and I cast the matches when I have the time to. I've been following the first two seasons, and looking forward to participating and seeing the ongoing third season as well. This is basically the first match of Division 3 in League of Empires Season 3. We have the team names up here. It's a best of 2, as you can see, one home map for each team. And this is the third division out of 4. Atacama, I believe, it doesn't say here, but this is the DE standard version of Atacama, which is CandyWarriors home map. Without further ado, let's introduce the players here. If you want to know the rank, you could just go !rank and the player's nickname in Twitch chat, and it should show up. But let's have a look at the teams and civilizations here. For this very open Arabia-like map with all on fighting for wood in the middle as the game moves on, we have Professor Goethe as the Goths here to the right side. And immediate thought comes to mind that like a Men-at-Arms Towers kind of play, since Goths is now on the flank and not in the pockets position, will definitely most likely be going for some early aggression here. Maybe more streamlined towards infantry than your usual go-to Men-at-Arms into Archers push. But we'll see as the game progresses, of course. In the pocket position, we have Hannes77, Hannes 77, I think it's German. And he is with the Berbers, lovely pocket civilization. Cheaper cavalry in the castle and Imperial Ages, 15 and 20% respectively. Yeah, likely to go scouts into knights here. Wall up is almost out of the question on Atacama, so hopefully we will be seeing a lot of feudal age action here. To the left side on the final team member of CandyWarriors, we have Matti241 here, playing as the Ethiopians. See you around, Venturobaba. Matti241 is with the Ethiopians, a more classic flank civilization for team games. Going to play the archer's role here. What Ethiopians can and almost should do is Men-at-Arms opening, especially 1v1s, but it applies in team games as well. Because if you go for the 22 pops Men-at-Arms with Ethiopians, or anything you do with Ethiopians benefits from a 100 food, 100 gold once you reach the next age, and that makes the Men-at-Arms transition a lot smoother as well. You could either, going by the classic build, you could afford 1 or 2 more militia easily, or you can just simply get the upgrade more or less for free. See, the boards are being lured in, that's those blinky dots here. But let's have a look at the other team. I'll start with the pocket position here for Venturobaba. Also with the Berbers. So we actually have a Berbers mirror between the pockets here. Interesting. So no significant advantage in terms of unit production cost for the cavalry civilizations here. They'll probably both be going for the scouts as well. And both pockets currently at 19-20-ish pop here. Neither of them having clicked up just yet. To Venturobaba's left side, we have Saracens for Knusper Bacon. And, well, Saracens usually means archers. They aren't stopped by enemy walls because their Saracens archers have a bonus against buildings. It's been recently nerfed a little bit, but it's still absolutely operational. So if the enemy tries to quick wall or to palisade wall his base from aggression, the Saracens archers will break through rather easily. And finally, for the right side, we have Rectus with the Tatars. The civilization likely to go, for example, for scouts into cav archers. Where here is the barracks going up for Rectus at 21 population by the looks of it. Could both be a straight archers build, but there aren't any on gold here. So it's more likely to be... Yeah, I don't even know what the plan is here. I don't think our orange friend here is collecting any gold for the time being. So must be having scouts in mind then. And gets immediately punished by the Goths here. 4 militia, no less, for Professor Goethe, who has 6 military total now, no less than 5 militia out on the move here. So a pretty aggressive rush from the Goths here. Already some action on this side, lovely. There's the feudal age for Hannes 77. He beats Benchobaba to it, but Benchobaba with his 22 pop is going to go into the feudal age with a better economy overall here, I would say. The KD is 1-1 here for Knusper Bacon, so I guess there's been some success on this side with the Drush, either picking off a villager or the enemy scout maybe. Lots to focus on in the team games like this, and Knusper Bacon definitely seems to be on a good offensive here. So the flanks here trade off against each other actually. That's one villager down for Matti here, but that could also be said about Rectus on the other side here has lost 1 eco as well, eco KD in this tab here. And a very nasty Goths offensive, 6 militia now, and Professor Goethe going for an extended rush into sort of a castle age, maybe a forward barracks even. I think it's just trying to buy time for the green pocket here to mass up units and prepare the transitions into the next stages. Flaring left and right here. Men-at-arms are in for Knusperbaken, so it's men-at-arms into archers for the Saracens here then. And yeah, doesn't seem to acknowledge that archers are out on the field here. Focus is down 1 though. As long as the archers don't have fletching, it's easier for standard melee units to chase and focus them down as well, you know. But here goes the scout of Knusperbaken. Might want to consider trying to keep that alive, but goes for maximum damage output here instead. And is looking at the KD. It's not eco KD, it's actually overall KD here of 624 for Knusperbaken. Fascinatingly similar thus far. 81 villagers to 78 here between the teams. No significant eco difference here. You see most of the... Well, all of Shikari have double bit axe, whereas CandyWarriors have been a little bit more forgetful here. That is going to hurt Matti 2-for-1 in the long run here, not getting double bit axe for the archer's investment. There's also double ranges on either side here. When you go men-at-arms like Knusperbaken did here, you don't usually see 2 ranges straight away. You usually see range blacksmith to go for a smoother ride into the blacksmith upgrades. But yeah, enough archers here and mixing in the skirm as well to hold off the Ethiopians forward here to begin with. Quite patient play here for Knusperbaken not to take the engagement, although he could have done so. Probably wants to wait for the 2 skirmishers to complete before engaging against these numbers here. None of the players have any particular upgrades here. As Rectus with the Tatars indeed is going for the scouts, as assumed on the other side there, is taking a woodland close to Benchobaba as well for some reason. But scouts definitely with some success here, taking Professor Goethe off his one of his woodlands and golds here. There's a player on the other side as well, a bit of a run-in. Matti has to fight off both archers and skirmishers here, and that's not going to be an easy task without help. But here comes the pocket with a couple of scouts. Could meddle in between and then shift the favors of the battles here. numbers. Still no fletching for either player here, and that's the cost of going to ranges like that as well. There is a blacksmith actually for CandyWarriors here, but still no fletching for Matty 2 for 1. Generally speaking, you really want fletching on your archers ASAP when you're moving out. If you have a large chunk of archers like this, you could maybe rely on your micro, but whoever gets to fletching first here in these somewhat equal numbers will have such a massive advantage. And it's also peculiar that Hannes 77 isn't in here with the scouts. The scouts are just idling for Hannes at the moment. He probably has things to attend to at home. Scouts fights versus Venture Baba here. But that's the challenge of being in the pocket position in 2v3 team games as well. You need to be multiple places at once, so to say, all of the time. And if Hannes 77 had been here with those two stray scouts in between Matti's archers here, then Kosperbeck would have a much tougher fight to take. Right hand side, looks like the Goths players' rush has come to a halt. Forgot about this forward barracks thingy. Invested heavily into spears here, and let's see the resources here. I don't think Professor Goethe is going to reach Castle Age anytime soon. This is just so low on resources here. It's in the feudal age, of course, but with all this resource investment, even if the spearmen infantry in general is cheaper for the Goths, it's a long way to go for the transition to the next stage here. You could argue that about Rectus as well with the scouts investment, but it's simply worse for the Goths player. Good kill there by Rectus, diminishing the numbers of Professor Goethe, who is now currently at 22 pop. So he's taking some serious hits there, all right. 119 is the KD. That's disastrous for Professor Goethe, but yeah, pays the price for picking Goths in a team game and takes some serious hits there on the right hand alone. But his teammates are making good progress on the left hand side here. Now, Hannes Zeepsy here with the scouts trying to break into the gold where nothing is currently happening. Well, they're doing a good job at keeping Red's numbers at an absolute minimum here, and Venture Baba does have 4 scouts. That's not nearly enough to help out here though. So the left side looking very good for CandyWarriors here on Atacama. Yeah, just work together. Scouts in front, archers to fire from behind. Matti, where are you going? Why do you leave Hannes to fight on his own like that? Oh well. Scouts numbers are higher for Venture Baba now, keep that in mind, at least what is forward here. So they're really going extended feudal here. I kind of like to see that there's Spearman, no, Spearman, focus the Spearman, Matti. Looks like Venture Baba will be getting the better end of this deal. Will be chasing away these scouts and archers here with his own scouts and spears, holding this on his own here now. There's some red movement here to the south. That seems to be a mix of archers and skirmishers of the Saracens, going to contest the gold of Matti here. Matti, however, is on the way to the Castle Age as the first player in the game here. He gets taken off gold, and but he has 16 archers to benefit from the upgrade that are currently challenging Venture Baba's position in the opposite pocket side here. Tries to send Hannes' scout in between here, but the engagement still worthwhile for Venture Baba. I think it's time to commit these 10 archers now to try and get as many villager kills traded as possible here on the wood line. Just use the army actively. You're probably going to lose these anyway, so then it would make more sense to risk some losses and try and snipe villagers here, and then rather just replenish the numbers at home. We have 10 archers forward, so it's probably 7 archers left in the ranges of Matti to benefit from the crossbow upgrade. But this is good damage done here, taking Venture Baba off essentially the only wood access he has, I think. And even though the archers will go down, they did snipe quite a few villagers there, so that's a worthwhile trade anyway. Venture Baba with the villager, or is that actually, that's villagers, right? 50 villagers. That's pretty solid behind this. And Shikari definitely having a solid villager population in here, 141 to 104. Archers doing work as well to diminish the numbers of Matti here, and the Rangers are producing skirms now. You generally never want to be making skirmishers in a team game. And to upgrade crossbow with only one archer to benefit from it is also questionable, although you know that Ethiopians will have plans to make more. Let's see the right-hand side, what's going on here. 27 for Professor Goethe now, but his score is alarmingly low here, and the scouting intel rather limited as well. Has had to deal with scouts continuously here, of course, as we also have this pocket now, Venture Baba, going up to the castle age at roughly the same time as Professor Goethe here. So CandyWarriors are behind in villages, behind in army, but Shikari still has one player, Rectus here, who is still in the feudal age, so that counts for something as well. Some defensive towers on the woodlands here. That's actually some decent map control for Shikari. And the long-term economy for Shikari looks a lot better, of course, with their massive builders lead here. I'm going to look for some damage on the other side, maybe. And this foundation has been there forever for Professor Goethe. I think he's just forgotten about this one. And that is some wood that could be put to better use for sure. So we have a battle event on the left-hand side here. Hannes C1 here with the solid mass of knights here. How many is that? 15 knights. As Metro Baba is much later in the castle age here. That's a window of opportunity for Hannes to exploit. Maybe to go for some raids here with the numbers and keep Metro Baba at home, or just work together with his teammate, the Ethiopian player, to really chase Knutspur Bacon back to the dark ages here. It's solid army numbers for Knutspur Bacon though, compared to CandyWarriors, and compared to Matti here. It's just that quite a few of those are skirmishers, so depending on how they are placed, the skirmishers are very easily killed by the knights. I don't think there's any reason for Hannes and Matti not to engage here, but it looks like Matti has, Hannes has spread out the armies here as well to try and hit different areas of the map. This is some dangerous, scary movement for CandyWarriors, though, if they don't acknowledge that this is coming their way. Oh, but Knutspur gives up on that one, actually. Is now going to chase after Hannes' knights instead. And this is a decent raid, but they could get trapped here. It's just a couple of house foundations and walls here, and then the knights of Hannes is actually, or are actually trapped here. Yeah, I'm voting for Shikari so far. That's a good cleanup there, and suddenly Venture Baba, even with that much later castle age over the opponent, is at 15 knights to Hannes' 13 here. How many stables? 5 stables for Venture Baba, no less, against 4 for Hannes here. The Archer's Mass of Knutspur Bacon is pretty impressive as well. I think they're signalizing that they want to go hit the enemy now. These are faster firing Ethiopian crossbows though, so they are not to be messed around with. But look at Venture Baba's mix of knights and camels here to meddle in. +1 defense, we can see +2 for Hannes here. So even if Hannes is potentially outnumbered, he will be taking a little bit better fights due to his stronger defense, which also makes his knights more durable against the crossbows here. Yeah, that might be a crossbow cleanup here for Hannes and his team against Knosper Bacon here. So Knosper Bacon will have to replenish the numbers, and the Ethiopians, on the other hand, is keeping the crossbow numbers here. When Shabapa keeps flooding in more knights here and is actually outmassing massing Hannes here, but this is where the fight is going down. Hannes has mixed in some camels as well, together with the knights, to take a good engagement here together with his teammate. A bit of a choke point there where the knights and archers are hiding, but this, I think, is CandyWarriors fight. Well, look at these Waller boys in the back here. They are actually going for palisade walls all the way through the middle. So they're thinking long-term about trade here. But I'm not sure if Shikari will ever get to that if they keep falling behind or taking less optimal fights like this. Long swords for Rectus on this side. I mean, Tatar's longsword is one of the absolute weakest longswords in the game. It's mainly cav archers though. And the castle just now goes up for Professor Goethe, so now he has access to Haskell's here. His woodlands are growing thin here, which will be an issue for the later game. You see the wood count of Professor Goethe is really low, and he's not in the middle. But most of the fighting is going down on the left-hand side here. Venturewapa getting some good engagements here. It's tough to tell the difference between yellow and green here, but believe they're somewhat equal in numbers actually. Venturewapa keeps supplying better numbers here overall, though. Is also is that 7 ranges for the Saracens? That seems pretty crazy. I mean, you want the numbers, but no way, even with Saracens market abuse, you could keep 7 ranges working. I think it's only 3 of them, 4 of them working. I mean, it's a good initiative, but I believe more in the 3 ranges of Matti here, as long as all the ranges are producing. Ethiopians crossbows doing work here. They do fire 20% faster, so that's useful against Knights offensives as well. Now we need to see the KD, I think. Let's see. Venturewapa with 60 kills, 93 lost. Hannes with a positive KD here, 89 to 65. Keeps engaging here, but this... Whose fight is this? +2 defense for Hannes. +2 defense for Venturewapa as well. But Hannes also has +2 attack, so that's what saves him in this fighting over here. So I see Rectus is doing some work on the right-hand side as well. This is more like a 1 versus 1 on this side. The Hurskalls are being produced from the castle here. Light Cab, decent unit to mass against Hurskalls, I guess, in lack of a better option here right now. Longswords will also be a good melee alternative. But Goths are dangerous if they get to the late game, of course. The Goth spam, just ruthless when you can pump out units more or less instantly from the barracks. See the left-hand side here, defensive castle for Knosper Bacon. Shikari now with 50 villagers lead over the opponents here, and also with an RB lead actually. The crossbow numbers are roughly the same here between the archers players, but the Berber's pocket of Shikari is providing more cavalry to the field overall. Shikari also have more control in the middle, but now Matti, he's not joking around here. He's going to drop a castle right on Knosper Bacon's, one of Knosper Bacon's woodlands here. So that's going to deny quite a bit of wood access and a town center from Knosper Bacon. Meanwhile, the archers or crossbow masses are doing their best over here. It's more than anything, it's a distraction. So, green knights chasing red crossbows here, blue crossbows chasing yellow knights. Yeah, it looks like CandyWarriors have a bit better team communication here. They're all losing lots of units here. Venture Bob with 82 to 125. Good thing the Berber's cavalry is cheaper here. But then we have Knosprovaken with roughly equal trades here against the other Archers player, against Matti. I think economy is going to play a big role in this game for the long term. So the military numbers aren't that different, but Menchobaba again produces more army to the field, but that could, in return, that could mean that Hannes is able to get to the Imperial Age sooner if this game goes to the Imperial Age at all. Production capability is going down. I don't think Saracens are going to mind that too much. There are 6 more ranges to produce from. Castle in a decent spot to protect the gold as well. In the meantime, we have Tatar's Cav in the middle here to raid the pocket Hannes. Now, together with Venture Bubble, these are some good raids from Shikari here. They're going to really take that villager lead here now by focusing down units like this. Lots of idle time cost here on Hannes in the pocket. But we have a player in the Imperial Age here. We have Matti in the Imperial Age, and let's see. He has Arbalest in, Ethiopian's Arbalest at that, fighting under the castle. Will be sniping a lot of Ventrobaba's knights here. It's so much more damage output for the Arbalest here. Great engagement here, and the rest of Ventrobaba's knights are over here, but it's not by any chance enough knights here to take out the Arbs. Well, I'm back. Missed a lot. Yeah, it's still a first game though. Look at these army numbers, so it's so even, but then the economy, it's almost 100 villagers more for Shikari now. As the Saracens player is going up as well, but 24 crossbows only to benefit from the Arbalest upgrade here. There are 9 ranges now for the Saracens player, but only 5 of them producing by the looks of it. A couple of these dots are actually orange, come to think of it. So it's Tatar's ranges producing as well. It looks like Hannes has weathered the storm of the raids at home here, as last of Ventrobaba's knights get cleaned up over here as well. Ventrobaba with the extensive units investment is probably going to be later to the Imperial Age than his opposing pocket here. I think Hannes, yeah, is only missing a bit of food click up, whereas Ventrobaba's resources look like this, so it's going to be a while yet before Ventrobaba can reach that Imperial Age. That could be a deciding factor between the teams here if one of the pockets is significantly earlier to the next age. Matti 241 with the forward cast layers, but to deny a little bit of gold off the Saracens, who's now getting Arbalest. Ballistics very late there. Step Lancer, Knight, Cav Archer, full on AI army here from Rectus. So 109 to 113 military here. Still both teams only with 1 player in the Imperial Age here. And Knosprovaken making use of that. He has traps, but so has Matti. And this castle needs to go down, because if it does, then it's open territory for Hannes 77 to run in with the cavalry and raid. And the archers to move further in as well. 37 to 42 Arbalest numbers, pretty similar here after all. On the other side, we have full-on AI army from Rectus here, with the top score probably got into upgrades for a lot of these guys as well. And he's going to drop an in-your-face castle on the Goths player here. Oh, Ventrobaba can't engage this alone, needs help from his own archers, but there are 3 trebs now for the Ethiopians player. to take down this Saracens castle for sure, and then they could keep engaging here. Even if Menchobaba has more cavalry here, together with this group of Armalists, if they work together, then this should be still be a good fight for Matti, because he has the faster firing Arbalest here. Castle can't be repaired anymore, and Matti is out of stone, so we'll have to need to bail on that one, so they both lose one castle forward. What's going on in the middle though? Some ridiculous raids from Hannes here in all of the middle, all of the wood economy of Shikari here. Could probably see it in the wood income here as well. That yeah, Knusperveiken is still loading also wood, but they're struggling for, might be struggling for income here in the middle of all these raids. Right hand side, full on madness with the Tatars and Goths having an internal war over here. So, pretty messy game on Atakawa this far. I love the teamwork between the players as well. We have full-on coordination. Knights always close to the arbs on both sides here. And still neither of the pockets on the way to the Imperial Age, as far as I can see. So that's going to be one deciding factor here, potentially, if Hannes stops sacrificing knights. Stops feeding the Saracens archers here with knights for no reason. 35 knights to Ash. Yeah, Venture seems to be struggling here for army numbers. Has been raided pretty significantly here by Hannes. That's some great pocket raids from the pocket here from Hannes to acknowledge this very exposed economy for both the red and the orange player. Is spreading out, getting so many builder kills. Look at Hannes's KD here. It's 240 to 194. Of course, some knights are lacking on this side as a result of it, but even with constant replenishment of villagers from Shikari here, these kinds of raids are going to give CandyWarriors the villagers lead. They are falling slightly behind in military here, and the Tatars AI army is reaching new heights here. We have Light Cav, Knight, Pikeman, Swordsman, Cavalry Archer, Keshik, and I think I saw Step Lancer somewhere as well. So, I'll commend Rectus for spending his resources. He's literally making all the units he possibly can in terms of foot soldiers and ranged units. Only missing Siege here for a complete AI army here. 35 ARPs and still 3 Trebs for Matti here, but would probably still benefit from some... Oh, look at the raids though. Some knights help over here, some cavalry help. But the economy of the Berbers pocket is being contested now. Well, by the looks of it, Hannes is down to 44 villagers. And maybe left with only 1 TC if these units keep raiding like they do right now. 131 to 93 military here. I'm not sure if the pockets will even see Imperial Age this game. Saracens player dropping more ranges here, which makes sense because now all 6 of the ranges are producing arbs and skirms. So when you're capped out on production like this, of course you can drop more production potential. I think there's lots of wood in the bank still for Knusperveiken to make use of here. Yeah, so no reason not to drop more production buildings if that's the case. 24 arbs to 43 here now. And Hannes in the pocket still with more knights here than Venture by far actually. Making good use of them, raiding around and still harassing economy of the enemy pocket here. Venture with 53 villagers, Hannes only with 24 though, so he's taking some serious hits here as well to the Long Swordsman. Has actually lost all of the town centers except this one. That's some pretty significant damage done by the Tatar's flank here, who doesn't seem to even bother about the Goths anymore. And the GG is called. CandyWarriors have lost their pocket here. And that's partly a result of Atacama being really hard to wall as well, but not an easy win for either team here. I think it's a combination of Rectus' full-on AI army, one-on-one annoyment on the right here, and overall good hold and good army production on this side for Knusperveiken with the Saracens. Good job of the Saracens here to hold against the Ethiopians like that and simply outmass, outproduce them. So the first game indeed goes to Shikari here. And we're just waiting for Goths to give up here. Still, that unfinished barracks hanging around here. Alright. Let's have a quick look at the stats here, and then I'll dive into the next game as well. Solid KDs here for both the green pocket here, Hannes for CandyWarriors and Rectus for the other team, Shikari here. Almost 350 kills for both, or more than 350 for Rectus. AR army seems to work. 88 army total, largest army by far. Fighting off the Goths there, and Tosperbeken really outmassing the Ethiopians here on the other side as well. Solid food eco for Venture Baba here, a bit less gold. Had less knights overall, but still held in nicely there and worked together with a teammate while Hannes was getting some good raids in, but not enough to turn the game and taking huge losses at home after his right-hand flank suffered some strong push from Rectus, the Tatars player. Much earlier uptime here for Hannes did go up at 2 population less there, so there's a difference between the pockets in that regard. Almost 40 seconds difference. Aside from the Goths player here who went for an extended Dark Age and got heavily raided by Rectus later, all of the players reaching close to 100 villagers in the economy department as well. Alright, let's pull up the second game as well of this set. It's a best of 2, and now we're going to I guess that would have to be a Shikari's home map, wasn't it? Or am I mixing things up? And in any case, we're gonna have Socotra here, so we probably have a good old mess on our hands here. It's Shikari's home map, okay. They're discussing the previous game, which is nice to see. Socotra! It's new in the map pool for Season 3, hasn't been there for Season 1 or 2, but the map pools are largely decided by popular vote, so it is indeed Socotra here. It's going to be a mess to cast, but hopefully going to be an eventful and fun one to follow as well. So we'll see. I guess we could have a talk about the civilizations again. The same teams, obviously. Professor Goethe to the right here, now with Ethiopians. Wants to go for the archers, most likely here. I shouldn't underestimate that 100 food, 100 gold bonus here either, to facilitate some men-at-arms or other kinds of armies here. Little sneaky scouts hit there, Rectus gets the first hit, but Professor Goethe refuses to chase. So Kotra is one big old lame fest, so we'll see if any boars, or rather elephants, get stolen here. I think they're playing it nice and fair. The players are obviously taking the elephant early, don't want to lose it too late. Professor Goethe's elephant might be in danger here though, and he has it scouted though, so he'll be able to block it if it happens. But back to the civilization. Professor Goethe played Goths the previous game. Ooh! So Professor Goethe tries for a lame here before he gets his own elephant. That's not going to end well here with the teal scout down to very low HP. Good save by Rectus there to prevent his elephant from being lamed. In the pocket, Hannes 77 with the Magyars. Probably wants to play the scouts into knights here, if that's even possible on Socotra. And to his left we have Matti 241 with the Bulgarians. And guess what? Bulgarians get men-at-arms instantly, so this could very well be a men-at-arms and towers play for Bulgarians, which should be very strong on Socotra. Even men-at-arms on their own could be so strong here in the flank position. Classic Socotra style play, walling in some golds to prevent access to that for the enemy as well, but that has been recognized by Knusper Bacon here, at least partly. to stop the walls from completing. So Kotra indeed, Ogeda won. Yeah, true. We need to update it, Ogeda won. It's 5-4 now. So this is a bit bad luck for Knosperbecken. He doesn't see all of the stuff being walled in here. He's going to struggle for food, and Matti is not messing around here. He's walling in the gold even over here. And surely he won't get away with that. But the berries are off limits now for Knosperbecken, so that's going to be a setback. He's taking the hunt though, long distance hunting at that. And this kind of laning also takes its toll on your economy. Work at home, just look at Matti here with some idle TC and idle eco time behind this due to the forward investment. I mean, what is even the meta for Socotra team games? I'm not sure what we're going to see here. Back to the Sims, we have Sicilians for Venture Baba here, so the new DLC Sims are indeed allowed in the new season of League of Empires. And Sicilians, they drop castles ridiculously fast, so I could actually see on Socotra slinging the Sicilians stone for castles and donjons as an option. The Sicilian unique unit can construct donjons as well, and you can make them from castles, from donjons, everything. Sicilian douche. Not in a 3v3, I think. Where's the fighting? I hear fighting, I don't see it. Is it not Barris? Oh, it's here. It's here. It's Knosperbecken desperately trying to free up his berry access here. Very good to have that obtainable. Alright, right hand side we have some cowardly walling here from Rectus, hoping that Socotra can be played like a regular map with some huge ass walls. Do-it-yourself hideout on the right hand side here for the Malians player. Malians should be strong for Socotra as well, as the games don't necessarily go to Imperial Age. You have a lot of viable options in the Castle Age for Malians. Longswords are insane with their extra pierce armor. Starting infantry on Malians get +1 pierce armor per age, starting in the Feudal Age. Yeah, so the berries have been freed up, freeing up the food source for Knosperbecken here. We have 2 players on Candy Warriors up to the next age though. And that would be the Ethiopians and Bulgarians here. Whereas, Ethiopians and Magyars. Whereas the Bulgarians go for a prolonged Feudal Age here, Dark Age here, with the barracks going up now, going to gold as well. Absolutely indicative of an men-at-arms investment here for Matti 241. Feudal Age for Knosperbecken and Rectus as well, so we'll have Malians and Koreans. I forgot to mention Koreans actually. But Koreans, definitely a tower civilization, could have more than viable archers as well. But for the time being, Knosperbecken will have to play the towers here, I think, because he's basically lost access to a lot of the efficient access to a lot of the stone here due to Matti's walling off the resources early on here. One forward villager still at work for Matti here. Walls in the berry pickers here. Will they even be able to drop off food? I think they will. It's just not going to be as efficient as could be. So I think Matti's designated role here on the left hand side is just to be as annoying as humanly possible here with the Bulgarians, to buy Hannes time to get to maybe a smoother castle age with the Magyars here. I'm pretty sure he'll be providing scouts as well. That's what he's doing right now. Shikari again with a slight villager lead like the previous game though. And build 3 numbers, not too much to mention just yet. Lots of villagers chasing this one forward villager though, and here comes Hannes with his 2 scouts to try and snipe some of them. He has +1 attack on the scouts as well, and once our blue friend can reach the village, he will also have men-at-arms here. 3 scouts, 3 Magyar scouts with that +1 attack that they get instantly. Will snipe at least a few villagers here, so that's some great value against Knusper Bacon here. Defensive tower now for Knusperbaken does not lose access to the precious stone with the Koreans here, but now he's being hit by Hannes 77 with the scouts, and let's see the KD here, what the situation might be. Looks like 5 units lost for Knusperbaken. I think that's mainly villagers because he hasn't really been making any military yet. So that's some significant numbers lost there. As Manchbaba has outwalled in his berry pickers here, and he goes fast castle lock this with the Sicilians. That seems awfully risky, but never say never. As the scouts pound away at the tower here, we'll be getting even more villager kills potentially, fighting under tower fire here. And there is one Bulgarian men-at-arm meddling in here as well. Blacksmith market is up, but will Venturobaba be able to click to the next age here is the question. Lacking a little bit of gold. Could sell food now to go up, and there we go. Yeah. So that's going to be the cast stage. That could be a huge one. Sicilians Knights, they, or I mean Sicilian units in general, they take 50% less bonus damage from counter units, which means that if Venturobaba gets the early Knights out here with Sicilians or whatever might be in the planning here, that could be huge against anything the other civilizations bring to the table here. Scouts still doing work for Hannes here, denying these walls. Look at the Rectus here. He wants to wall off the whole fucking middle here, and it's not going to be allowed to do that. Nice little spearman snipe there. There's only one player going to the cast stage though. I think the others are just far away from that. Let's see the ecos here. Yeah, I don't think any of the others will be getting the cast stage anytime soon. But army matters as well, and CandyWarriors are outnumbering their opponents by a factor of 10 military right now and increasing. There's a player in the middle, maybe going to snipe another weak villager here. So KD should show great numbers for CandyWarriors now, 12 to 5. And Matt, not so nice, 1 to 8. So he's been, must have been taking some losses here at some point. And Rectus is mainly playing it defensively with Malians here with walls and towers and whatnot here. Being chased by Ethiopians archers here, but keep in mind again that the Ethiopians men-at-arms or infantry line units, they get +1 pierce armor starting in the feudal age. So even the faster firing Ethiopians archers are going to have a hard time taking out masses of Malian infantry units, like for example longswords. Venturobaba with the stable, indeed, 3 knights producing, is lacking absolutely all of the upgrades, doesn't even have lowlands here, so they have some limited potential for now. But once the eco allows, Venturobaba will be getting into upgrades as well, I hope. Probably wanted to stress the cast stage as Sicilians here as well to have the potential for castle drops or fight off enemy units with knights, but you still need upgrades for units if you want to move out. So Spurbaken has been defending nicely over this side, drops the range now, so wants to play the Koreans archers here, as Venturobaba is going boom mode here, but building the TC with 1 villager. Look at this! It's only 1 villager building and it's going so fast. So that's gonna go up, and that secures a little bit of wood, but more importantly the gold over here as the knight numbers increase. Still no upgrades though for Venturobaba here. So at the very least, I would have wanted some defense upgrades for the knights when up against archers, because even if they are just feudal age archers, in these masses they're still going to be scary for knights without armor and bloodlines. Erectus tries for a defensive tower on the gold here. Doesn't quite manage to complete that. There are some men-at-arms in the mix here as well. These are, I mean, with full upgrades, the knights would have some merit here, but they're lacking, unless Capturation is bugging out, they are lacking quite a few upgrades here. But it says 2+0 though, so it looks like maybe an attack research is in at least here for Benjo Baba. Could be that we can't trust the 3v3 stats here. Let's see for the units here. Fletching for the archers. Well, that shows in the stats actually for the teal player here. Jababa looking for other places to raid. Now going to punish the Ethiopians player here, but he has to dodge archer's fire as well. Fletching for the Malians player as well, so we're not going to see only Malians longswords here, but it could be for the towers actually, not fletching. As the knights will move on to hit Hannes in the pocket. Hannes is only with scouts for now. He still has the scouts alive, but he's not quite using them actively. And look at the walls here, playing full on walls here. And quick walling out the knights as well. That's some good job there to keep the aggression out. Matti comes to join in with the longswords here to finish one of the knights off as well, by the looks of it. Such a messy map, this very packed and tight map that Socotra is, with wood all around the edges. There's water here as well. That's not usable for anything because it's blocked by cliffs, so you can't go there. So let's look at the numbers here. This is almost a reverse of the previous game because CandyWarriors, they are really supplying army numbers here now. They have twice the military of Shikari. They have all 3 players in the castle age soon in 50 seconds, whereas Rectus here is lagging behind in the progress. It's still in the feudal age, which could be an issue here. We have some Magyars knights on the field. They have +2 attack instantly with their civ bonus for the Magyars, and Scale Barding is in as well, so Hannes has a little bit more armor. Whereas Venture Baba has the Sicilian Knights on the field as well, but he's lacking a lot of upgrades, especially Bloodlines here, unless the game is faulty. The Capture Age, I mean. Rectus with the stone walls here is desperate now not to fall too much behind here in the progress, and he really wants those team walls together. He's actually walled himself up from his teammates here. Professor Goethe pushing away as well. Bodkin on the way in, Crossbone on the way in. This is going to be, even for Balians here, that's going to be dangerous because Rectus only has 3 men-at-arms and 1 spear to defend here. Professor Goethe with 20% faster firing archers is going to take down this barracks, especially when crossbow kicks in. And will then have a nice point of entry to move closer, but he'll need some siege or something to deal with the towers though. No ballistics, by the looks of it. And we have a lovely run in here with a huge old mass of knights here, Bulgarians knights as well. So they are handily outnumbering Venture Baba's number here. 6 knights for Venture Baba, 20 total for CandyWarriors here. That should be an easy fight for them to win, no matter the upgrades here. And Venture Baba does not have bloodlines, something that the blue and green players do, so they have much more hit points overall. You can barely even see the yellow HP tab there now. Professor Goethe is true with the crossbows as well. And CandyWarriors really out for revenge here after losing their on Atacama. And a good engagement is this, raiding with the crossbows here to take down villager numbers. Look at CandyWarriors, they have a 50 villager lead now at minute 29 in the game, which is quite huge. Great raids from Hannes, 77 over here. Korean's guard towers are keeping Knusperbecken somewhat okay here. He has a decent massive crossbows behind this, but overall military numbers are still more than 20 higher for CandyWarriors here. So they're doing a great job on Socotra here thus far. Good reaction from Knusperbecken there to pull the villagers away before the knights could run over here and use their mobility to snipe some numbers. Being very patient with the production here as well, not currently producing out of the rangers, but has the option to extend these numbers even further. Meanwhile, the walls go down and Hannes 77, I'm not even sure what the plan is here. Yeah, most certainly doesn't like walls at least, so I'm with him on that. Don't wall, it's boring. Not on Socotra, it should be played open. Alright, defensive castle for the Koreans here, and I think that might go up unless Matti can complete this crepost in time. He should start attacking the mining camp as well, maybe to try and get going here. Well, the crepost goes up, would at least snipe a few villagers here before the castle goes up. The castle will, of course, deal with the crepost, no problem. But it secures some very much needed resources here for Knusperbecken. However, in the middle of all this, some great raids for Hannes 77 and Professor Goethe on the right side flank. Sicilian Knights not up to par here, no, not Bloodlines. I think they get it, just never got research here for Venture and overall great performance by CandyWarriors taking this game, so it's a 1-1. GG, well played. Let's have a look at the stats here. So let's see the military numbers. KD 37 to 17 Combati here. Solid Socotra performance by the Bulgarians player. And Hannes as well. Some good rates by the looks of it. 36 to 27. And an even set it was 1-1 between the players. So good job indeed there. Castle Ages here. 18-minute Castle Age for Venture Baba, but I think it was a little bit too rushed. That Castle Age for Venture Baba didn't really have the economy to support consistent Knights production and upgrades and all that. Idea was good, but with that kind of faster Castle Age for Sicilians, I think I'd rather opt for some crucial map control with some castles because they build so ridiculously fast. Or yeah, I don't know. Or play full fuel Age dungeon rushes into madness, but maybe not from pocket position, even if it's Socotra. 59 villager high for two of the players on CandyWarriors and Professor Goethe with a decent one as well, so they really had the economy sorted for this one. And in the end, a GG at 32 minutes, so rather quick set there after all. GG well played.